Today we're taking a look at the Titan defense system ship, the Raven. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fractured Space with Down to Earth Astronomy. Today I'm reviewing the Raven, which is a ship from the Titan defense systems, a ship that I recently picked up and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. As always, we are first going to go over the loadouts, what the different modules and how you can fit up the ship. Then we're going to take a quick look at the crew that I've assembled for this ship, and then we're going to see this thing in some combat so you can see how I play it when I use this ship. But first, let's have a look at the loadout. Now, as you can see here, there are not a lot of opportunities here, but I want to start with this, which is actually the main weapon. This is the overcharged beam. This is our aimed laser beam, so there's no travel time, it's instant firing. No charge-up time either. Well, I think there's a little charge-up time, 1 or 2 seconds. But you can see here the range is pretty good, 15 kilometers as a max range, but do keep in mind that its optimum range is only 6 kilometers. That means that over 6 kilometers you begin to lose damage. Now, the beam has a duration of 2 seconds with a pulse rate of 0.4. That means that the beam lasts for 2 seconds, but it will do damage every 0.4 seconds, meaning it does damage 5 times during a single discharge. Each pulse does 450 damage, giving you a total of 2,250 damage per discharge. Now, you see, also look at the cooldown, 12 seconds, which is pretty good. Fairly quickly cooldown, you'll get it back fairly quickly. But as a drawback, the drawback is the Raven is a bit like the Aegis, that it will only recharge half its capacitor. The maximum capacitor is 10,000, so it will only recharge up to 5,000 by itself. The weapon requires 5,500 to discharge, so you cannot, by the ship's standard recharge, get up to a point where this beam will discharge automatically. So this is where you need your weapon, the smart gun up here. This is very similar to the other smart guns we see from Titan Defense, though these have very little tracking, so you have to aim them more carefully than many of the other guns. They all have a range of 10 kilometers with a decent speed actually, 13 kilometers with a speed of 10 kilometers per second. They all do the same damage, cooldowns are all the same. They pretty much are exactly the same weapon. The only difference is the drain/absorb amount, because each weapon will either both drain and absorb some energy. So it will both give you some energy, and it will also just negate some energy from the enemy ship. Of course, the default one is the middle version that gives a little bit of both. Then you have the absorb drain weapon, which drains more energy. And then, of course, you have the absorb yield that absorbs more energy. So this will, of course, give you more energy using this version. So you can use this to gain that extra energy to recharge your capacity just that little bit faster and get over those 5,000 so you can up and shoot your weapon. But what you will most likely end up doing is use this absorb charge. As the absorb charge is, again, you aim and fire it. It will then discharge at the range of the current targeted ship, and it will then drain 1,500 energy from that ship, and it will leech 3,000. So it will give you a lot of energy. And notice this as an area of effect. So this is actually a burst, and this is probably going to be one of your main ways to get to get energy from enemy ships. And it's also very good if you see a support ship or any other ship that you know are very power hungry. Fire this, completely drain their energy. You can shut down an enemy ship, completely removing all their energy and not allowing them to use their special abilities. Then you have the Raven rockets. They're pretty standard rockets that has a decent range, over 22 kilometers. 8 missiles, do some basic damage. They're not allowed to say these are just basic missiles. Then you have the fighters that you can send out either to attack or to defend your own ship or friendly ships as well. I think, not sure. I don't really use that fighter as much as I should, but yeah. the main weapon really is the overcharge beam. So let's go ahead and let's look at the crew that I'm using. So because we have that overcharge beam, which really is the one we need to be firing as many times as often as possible, what I've gone with a utility officer, so we get that energy efficiency, because the energy efficiency means that we're going to use a little bit less energy, bringing it down from, I think, 5,500 energy per discharge of the overcharge beam down to 5,300 or something like that in that area. And notice that all my crew members have energy regen. I also have a comms officer with good energy regen as well, because I want this ship to recharge its energy fast. I need to get that back up there very, very quickly. Then I have some damage, because we want to increase the damage of that beam, and also, of course, we'll use the damage of our normal weapons, the missiles. And the rest is pretty much whatever I just had lying around, some mobility, some jump range, or some dump time, utility cooldowns, little bit of defense when jumping, just, whatever I had lying around. So that's the main thing. Again, we need damage focused and high energy regen and energy efficient crew. But there are other tricks that you can use to get this beam off a lot more often, and I'll show you those once we get in game. So let's go in and let's see how this ship performs once we're actually in a battle. And we're off. So here we are, right off the start. Notice here my energy, as I said, only 5,000. We are a bit low on energy, so we cannot fire a beam right now. So I'm starting to jump to Alpha. We see we get a protector here with us. This is very good. Having a support ship is always nice. We spot the first, I think that's the Raider, is that right? And we can clearly see the other ship we have in the sector is, of course, the Watchman. We saw that in Force. They're taking a huge hit from the Watchman. Second hit missed. I'm staying safe right now because this ship is not that tanky. It's not a tank ship, so I'm just taking the shots that I can. So now that I used my absorb gun here, and there you see I drained his energy. Look at all the energy I have. I have actually also 9,000 actually max capacity. Here we go. But I managed to steal a lot of his energy, getting off my beam, and look at that amount of damage he just took. Now he's on very, very low health. He is almost dead. I'm trying to get him down. Looks like he is now trying to run away. But with the good range of these guns, we can easily get some damage in at him without having to overcommit and go out past the station. Now he's turning his shield around, which was a big mistake by him that allowed me to get my shots in. And here we go. In this time, I have managed to recharge my weapon. I completely make a mess of that discharge, and you really want to make sure that those discharges count, because they are very, very valuable. But look at our energy. Already, we are up to almost full energy. We are actually at full energy again, just seconds after we recharge, because of that good recharge crew, because of that absorb bomb that we have. But again, stay in cover here. Don't want to take any unnecessary damage. Fire some missiles, just some basic damage. Get around the corner here. Feel like I can get this guy right now. So I begin to go around the corner. I have plenty of energy right now. So I discharge the weapon. Here we go. And look at that damage. Broke through his armor and he got, I think, over 3,000 damage right there. He's moved around. He's overcommitted to the wrong side of the mining station. He has no cover. And we take him down easily. Here we come. Here comes the two next. Both the Raider and the Enforcer are now back. I move up, begin to fire some shots at the Raider. Wanted to get that energy fully recharged, almost there. And there we go. Fire the absorb bomb, and we now have plenty of energy. I considered using it for the Raider there, but I decided to go for the Enforcer instead because he was in solo health, and I wanted to remove him from the battlefield. I wanted one less ship shooting back at us. He is now retreating, trying to get away. And we can see that the pure tracking of the weapons. He's almost dead. There we go. He is dead. At this point, I'm beginning to take quite a bit of damage. I could probably have killed the Raider there. He's in very low health. I probably should have fired just a single salvo at him. That would have been enough. But I decided to fall back. Might have been a bit of a misplay there. But I decided to fall back because camera is unlocking, and I want to get my ship back to the to a forward station to get it repaired, get those upgrades. I'm still level 0. We have an upgrade, and there's an important thing to note here. because the amount of energy you can recharge is a percentage of your max energy. It's not hard capped at 5,000. So what I always do when I play the ship is the first upgrade I take is always a utility upgrade. So see, now I get the upgrades, which increases my energy, of course, and now I get the utility upgrade, so now I can recharge up to over 300. And remember that we had that crew member that had energy efficiency. That means we're using less energy. So even though we're only sitting at just under 5,400, we can still use the beam right now on our normal recharge. So we can actually recharge up to the full amount of cap or energy that we need to fire off the beam without having to leech it off other ships. This is a huge benefit, and the fact that you can get it this early in the game makes this ship so much better that you don't have to leech it off enemy ships. Again, I really make a mess of that attack on the enforcer, but we quickly managed to get the energy back up just in time to get the beam ready for this Colossus. Let's see what we can do at this kind of range. There we go. 2,500 damage. I'm beginning to take damage from the Colossus, so I try to move into cover, get out of line of sight, give myself time to make that energy recharge, because there's no reason to sit trading damage with your normal weapons or your absorb weapons, because they don't do a lot of damage. So try to get out, use them as much as you can, but the most important thing is that you give yourself time to go out, get that weapon recharged. So you can go ahead and use that beam. That really is your main weapon. These normal absorb guns don't do a lot of damage, of course. It is a nice supplement to your energy. And you can see how fast I'm able to recharge the beam here. It doesn't really take a lot. So right now I'm not using my absorb charge, which is currently on cooldown. So this is just the standard recharge of the ship while firing the gun. Look at that. We are almost ready to fire the gun again. And even though we actually lost this gamma fight, none of the enemy ships actually managed to get out of here alive with the gamma buff. So that was pretty much a tie for that sector. But anyway, we're now back, and look again, we are able to recharge up to enough energy to fire the beam. This, I cannot stress how important it is that you're able to do that. It just makes the ship so much easier, because that means you can actually ambush people with the overcharged beam. And that just makes the ship so much better and so much fun to play. So try to, as early as you can in the game, get the first utility upgrade, so you get enough energy to fire off that beam laser, or that overcharged beam. So here we see the weapon at a range, and we can see the kind of diminishing return. It was actually okay, that damage. We could have probably got a little bit more damage out of it if we managed to get within our optimal range. So far, our absorb. The absorb charge, there we go, we got lots of energy. Beam is now ready again already. So we are now able to once again fire it at him, and that should take him down. There we go. And just again, keep an eye on that energy. I cannot stretch how important it is to keep an eye on your energy in this ship. You really need to know when you're ready to fire that overcharged beam, because that is your main source of damage. But at this point, we're actually doing pretty well for ourselves. We currently have a pretty decent amount of ships at Beta, and we're currently 2 ships here, not meeting a lot of resistance, to be honest. So we're beginning to pressure their forward station, which should probably mean we'll begin to see more ships in this section very soon. We managed to reach level 6, so we're ready for our next upgrade, which I always use for damage. So there's use the absorb charge to get off, steal some of his energy, get in above him and fire off that beam laser, taking off half his health. And now just beginning to slowly recharge our energy, getting ready for the next attack. We have 2 seconds until the beam is off cooldown. There we go, it's off cooldown, and there we go, now we have the energy. Of course, I make a bit of a mess of that attack, and I try to stop the ship in time, but I managed to drift around the station, not really getting the full potential out of that recharge. Something you really have to try and do. Now, this is a tricky situation. I'm sitting very close to an enemy enforcer, and these ships, the enforcer, can do a lot of damage at close range, so I try to keep the distance to him, because with that escalator cannon that he has, he needs to hit every single shot. That means that every shot he misses, that's huge potential in his damage, huge loss is in his damage potential. See, lots of shots are missing, so I'm not taking a whole lot of damage. That's why I'm keeping some distance. I'm using my range here to try and reduce the incoming damage. Use my absorb gun, there we go, beam is ready, so get ready for the attack, fire off the missiles. And there we go. There comes the beam, and he's dead. Just in time for the disruptor to show up. And now we also have the radar here, 2 ships now. So I begin to get some distance, and luckily for me, they're jumping back, falling back, trying to protect their home station, because we have most of my team currently at Beta and are now jumping into the enemy base. I try to get as much damage in on those ships as I possibly can before they manage to jump out. I decide to go down and cap. I could probably have gone directly for the station, but looking at the amount of ships that we have there compared to them, it looks like we're doing pretty okay for us right now. So just to put that little bit of extra pressure on the enemy team, I decide to go down, get a little bit of repairs, and cap this station as well. Also to get that upgrade to level 7, to make my ship a little bit more competitive once we get into the station here. And of course, capping this will also put a lot of pressure on the enemy team, because now they suddenly have to cap 2 forward stations before they can actually close our jump axis. So right now I'm just holding back. I want to get in here at full health. Again, this ship does not have a lot of hit points, it does not have a lot of armor, so you really need to take good care of your health in this ship, because you can very easily lose it. So we get in here, spot the damaged enforcer, and because we're able to recharge our weapon naturally, we of course have plenty of energy to take him down with a quick surprise attack. There we go. Colossus is now also dead. They have, well, 1 ship currently with 2 out of 5, so we are capping at an extreme rate right now. And at this point, even though Gamma is about to unlock, we don't even care, because at this point we're just killing them so fast that they could just not do anything. So that was it. Very, very quick battle. Took, what, 10 minutes? Something like that. But I think it still showed how you can use this ship and some of the tricks that you can use to try early to get enough energy to passively recharge, enough energy to fire off that overcharged beam. Hope you found the video useful. If you did, give it a like down below and consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys in space.